I'll tell you something that will absolutely blow your mind. It will shock you. I managed to get 200,000 dirhams. Okay, 200,000 dirhams cash. I managed to get it without giving a security deposit, without anything. They just give me cash. And how I did this is by following the same protocol, by following the same pitch that I gave you. I'm not joking, I'm not making fun, I'm not misleading you. 200,000 dirhams, and they never asked for it back. Alright, this is not a planned video, but I thought I needed to address this because many people are sending me messages and asking me, Loy, how can I get a job? They're my clients, but my clients, I speak to them, but these are people obviously who send me this common question. So I thought I'll answer this question in this video. How did I get a job? How did I get a job when I was unemployed? And I'll tell you what makes it harder for me was I had tattoos. And so obviously it's much more challenging when you have visible tattoos and you're trying to get a job. That also in UAE, Middle East. So, okay, so those of you who follow me for quite some time know that 2011 I was, I lost everything. My video is there, 2011 Loy Macedo suicide. So after I decided not to commit suicide and I came back from India to Dubai, I was literally penniless, okay? Penniless, and I didn't have any money, no savings, just, one or two friends. But there was no job, no business model, no online brand, nothing, okay? Now, obviously I had to survive, right? So now, right off the bat, I can tell you that I knew for a fact that if I had made a CV, and you're talking 2011, this is before I started mastering the art of making a amazing CV or whatever. I just had the normal, typical CV, and I was like, man, what can I do about this? I knew for a fact from many years of having a job and not having a job and going back and forth and getting my own visa, I knew that spamming people with my CV, sending 10,000, 100,000 CVs through softwares or service providers was not going to help me. See, initially, when in my 20s, you're talking of 25 years ago, you could have these softwares where you could send 100,000 people your CVs and somebody would read it. I literally used to send emails, like if I'd send 1,000 emails unsolicited, I would get a few calls. But today, the landscape has changed so much. If you send someone an unsolicited email, they can mark you as spam, and then your account gets marked by Google or Outlook or Hotmail or Yahoo as a spam. And so even if you send people your CV, it doesn't go to their folder, it goes to their spam filter, okay? And how I know this is because I have these clients who send me a mail and they tell me, Loy, I've sent you the mail. And I'm like, where did you send it? Then when I check, it's gone to the spam folder, even though they addressed it to me, okay? So you can't send people just bombarding them unsolicited emails. It doesn't work that way. So what is the second option? Second option is obviously go door to door, and I've done that. In my 20s, I used to literally go, a tall building. Those days also, the security were not so strict. Like you could go right up to a building, go at the topmost floor, and go through every floor, every company, and give your CV to the receptionist. And I've done that. And I'm talking about 25 years ago. Huh? And then as time passed by, you would see more people walking up and down the stairs and all that. And then obviously the building security came to know this. And today you can't just walk up and down the stairs. You just cannot do that. They will stop you. Security will just catch you, and you need access key to go at the back door in some places. So, okay, that stopped. So I knew that I didn't want to do that. So number 3 was obviously contacts and connections. But keep in mind, when you don't have money, you don't have power, you don't have influence, you don't have contacts and connections. Nobody wants to deal with you. Nobody wants to help you. Nobody wants to even say hi to you. Forget others. Even your own relatives will not pick up your phone. And if they do, it's always a polite, yeah, Loy, don't worry. No, don't worry. I'll forward the CV. Take care, and this and that, and sweet talk. And it's no use, you know. And the rest of them are like, yeah, I'll forward the CV. Don't worry, I'll forward the CV. And you speak to someone who is religious, yeah, pray to God, have faith. People just give you shit, yeah. That's how the reality of life is. You can't help it. They don't give a damn. They don't care about you. So I was like, fuck, okay, I can't do that now. So now I've exhausted everything. What else is there? You can't go cold calling. Can't ask your contacts. But the only thing is they're begging. And I've tried that also. I'll tell you, I've done that. When you don't have food in the stomach and you're dying, you will beg. I've done that. I'm not ashamed to say it. I've done it in Dubai. Not begging, sitting on the like this. No, not like that. Ask him, please help me, you know, give me some money. And because I didn't have money for food, man. It was that bad. Really, no money for food, no money to stay. I was sleeping sometimes, you know, in if someone would give me an extra room in their house or a watchman's room or below a building, it was fucking crazy, man. So now, obviously, the question comes, then what did I do? See, right off the bat, I'll tell you one thing, okay? If you go the normal route of sending your CV, let's say someone advertised these recruitment companies, it's a total fucking waste. 100% it's a waste. Getting these vacancies through LinkedIn and all that, if it is not the official company, most of the people are data harvesting, okay? Facebook groups and all that, they just collect your CV. I've known this, experienced it, worked with people who do it. Then if there's a company that advertises for this thing and it's legit, you can be rest assured that the guy will receive an average, okay? Let's not exaggerate. At least, say 100 CVs. Okay, I'm being very, very modest here. 100 CVs, okay? Generic positions. I'm not talking specialized like director and this and that. 100 CVs, okay? You know it's much more than that. Now, in 100 CVs, the question is, what is the chance that you can stand out? Are you going to make the color great? Are you going to make the layout? And I'm not going to focus on the dynamics of CV because I've done that before. But then, let's say you have an amazing CV. Then comes the next part is, you get called for the interview. At the interview, you don't know what the guy before you has said. You don't know what the guy after you has said. You don't know how much he has asked for. You don't know how much experience he has. But you have to market and sell yourself. So now it becomes really hard. And the last part comes is, okay, you don't know whether you're underselling yourself or overselling yourself. And the final part comes, okay, you ask for the salary. Now, let's assume you go through all this and you succeed. Now comes another part. You don't know if the employer is a fair player. You don't know if he's an honest and genuine person. You don't know if the person's just a, backstabber, or he'll use you, not pay you your salary, make you work 7 days a week. I have literally experiences with people that I've known. They have taken me for a ride and cheated me. So now, what do you do? How do you survive? See, be it in Dubai or be it anywhere, these factors are universal, what I'm going to share with you. But I keep it focused on Dubai, UAE is because I did it in Dubai, UAE. Okay? So, what did I do? Here are some of the things. Let's forget the professional resume rebrand. Okay, let's keep that aside. That is very important, especially when the guy asks you for the document, because your impression, your personality, the opinion about you is judged through that one document. And if it doesn't look educated enough, if it doesn't look proper enough, you've shot yourself in the foot. That's number one. The second thing is the interview process, which anyway I teach and train people, so I know the nuances. People think interview is just talking. It's not talking. It's not saying, oh, the best, I'm number one, I'll die for the work, I'll work, you pay me 8 hours, I'll work 20 hours. So I'll, show you, it doesn't work that way. Overselling yourself, people are not stupid. Okay. So let's assume the interview also you did amazing. And I tell people, you want to know how good you are at an interview, take your own video and have a look at it. And if you're so confident, take a video of yourself and upload it on YouTube. My open challenge, 99.99% will never do that. Because they know they are so embarrassed. Their ability to market and sell themselves is so embarrassing that they don't want to make a fool of themselves. But what people don't know is, if you're embarrassed to upload it on YouTube, well, you're doing it in real life. So shouldn't you be equally embarrassed? You're giving up on opportunities of a lifetime just for your ego and your image. Okay, so those two gone. And I told you, contacts will not help you, connections. So now what is it? What I realized, or what worked for me, was I would go anywhere with my media kit. Media kit means, like when you go to take an interview or someone, you have to have your media kit, like your microphone, your camera and all that. So with me, I would keep my media kit, and that was a nice leather folder, a copy of my CV, a digital copy that was USB, talking of those days. And that time, internet, sending emails and all that, where anyone taught us. So today you can just send through WhatsApp and Gmail. Okay, so what I would do is, okay, I have my resume, physical copy, I have a USB, okay, spare USBs, or I can just transfer. And I would have anything else that was required, I would keep it there, but I would not have it too fat. Okay, it shouldn't be too much. Now, that was always with me. It was always with me, so that in case I had to use it, I would have it. It was not that I would literally go and, like a suitcase and market this. Okay. But now, what I would do is, if there was a contact or there was a connection, I would not, asking them for help. The problem is, people generally, when you ask them for help, they get embarrassed. So what I would do is, I would not be asking, can you help me? Or can you guide me for a job? Or I would ask them a question, a very, very specific question. Very specific. And I was mentally prepared that they would say, no, I don't know. And I would ask them the option. What do I mean by this? Let's say I want to ask money. I want to ask for money. I would never ask someone, can you help me? Money, please help me. I would never sweet talk with a person, hi, how are you, man? Long time. This. No. I never took the position of being a victim. I took the position of authority, self-confidence and power. And I would tell the person very, very specifically what was the amount that I needed, including, how I would pay them back, my plan of action. Okay? I always give them a business plan. Now, even if it was for a job, I would not say, I'm looking out for a job and all that. I would tell them, what is it that I was good at? What is it that offered value? A sentence or a statement if someone employed me, he doesn't lose anything, you know. And how I can show them the benefit within the time duration of a month. And finally, I would close the sale. No, not close it. Sorry. I would tell them that if you didn't know, let's assume you didn't know, okay? Could you give me one reference, just one, in their name, one reference, one friend whom I can speak to and, either get the right person or figure out the right contact or just speak to them, I'll not take their time. And I would do this conversation would be in less than, I think, 2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes, I would say what I had to say. Like initially when I'd call them, I'd tell them, I'm just, hi, how are you? Can you give me 2 minutes of your time? I will not take much more. They say, yeah, go ahead. And then straight away, bang, I would just hit my sales pitch of what I'm supposed to say. The sentences would be refined. It would be line by line. I'd literally be reading a script. And but very clear communication, the business plan, and something like, say, if you ask someone, give me 10 contacts, they'll be like, yeah, I don't have 10 contacts. But if you say one, it's easier. If you ask someone, give me $10,000, 100% they're going to say no. But if you ask someone, say $1, for example, I'm not saying you should ask for $1, they can't say no. Okay, and if the person even can't help you with that for $1, I mean, it's not worth being a friend. And what I mean by $1 is not that go around asking for $1. If a person that you know, whom is supposed to be your contact, can't give you one reference he can't give you, one person he can't introduce you, then why do you have this person as your friend? Yeah, just think about what I said. You have a friend who is not able to give you one person's phone number, one person's email address. He can't give you one. I'm not asking for, okay, can you help me with a job as a nuclear scientist? No. Obviously, if you ask something like nuclear scientist, I don't know anyone who knows someone for a nuclear scientist, okay, who has a need for it. But if you're going to ask for a simple favor, say something simple like a sales related job or something very small, or do you have a friend who's a businessman? So you make it very easy. Do you have a friend who's a businessman? Do you have a friend who runs a company? Okay, that person may not have any openings, but they can at least give you their number. I'm pretty sure they would have done it for their son or daughter. So can't they do it for you? And if they can't do it for you, man, you need to fucking delete their number. They are fucking useless for you. They're not your friend. They're a fucking waste of space. So I would prepare my sales pitch. I would not be positioning myself as a victim or, oh, help me. Person with confidence, self-respect. Give them a business plan, irresistible offer. Like, something like you work for someone for sales, you have a driver's license, you don't want a single penny, you'll give them the sales, you'll show them results. You don't want anything. And if you prove it to them in a month, then they can decide whether you're worth it or not. See, so people don't lose anything by, okay, you're going to get me 5 customers. Okay, I don't lose anything. Prove it. See, you need to have balls, you need to have guts, you need to have courage, you need to give them something that nobody else has offered. Let's say a designer, you tell them, I'll design 5 things for you, give it to you for free, okay? But that guy should be having jobs, like, constant jobs and possibility of business, not someone who doesn't have the requirement. If someone comes to me and says, I'll design a logo, fine, design. I don't need a logo. But if I was a company that designs logos and I need someone always, because I always have work, and this guy does a good job, why not? I might try him out. I might keep him as a, replacement. So I would do this. And see, before you laugh or dismiss this, I'll tell you something that will absolutely blow your mind. It will shock you. I managed to get 200,000 dirhams. Okay, 200,000 dirhams cash. I managed to get it without giving a security deposit, without without anything. They just give me cash. And how I did this is by following the same protocol, by following the same pitch that I gave you. I'm not joking, I'm not making fun, I'm not misleading you. 200,000 dirhams, and they never asked for it back because I gave them a proposal. And my clients know the story, only my clients. I'm not share this, I don't share it on a public platform. But exactly 200,000, and I was penniless. I managed to get it. I managed to get a car, rent a car without giving any money. I managed to get a person who gave me a house to stay. I managed to get a person who took care of my food bill. I managed to get someone who would help me, pick and drop for workplace. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the ultimate, and nobody can say no. Oh, plenty of rejections. But the results, when I got it, they were spectacular. See, the point what I'm trying to say through this whole video is, I just shared with you one small formula of how to land a job. And I'm telling you this, with these tattoos, with this look, I managed to get appointments with directors and CEOs. They would just call me because I always had a proposal for them. Always had a business plan. I always had a solution, And they, I'll tell you this. Don't waste your time with the employees. A fucking waste of time and space. Always speak to the owner. Always speak to the decision maker. Because the decision maker has the capacity to decide your fate. He can, if there's no vacancy, he can create one. If there's no requirement, he can present one. So I would never waste my time with these employees or lower level guys. Straight away I has to go to the top, the decision maker. And I'll tell you, many people tell me, oh Loy, just get me an interview. That's all I need. Get me an interview. For me, trust me when I say this, out of 10 people, at least 7, or even maybe 8 is a bit too much, but see, nearly 7, say 6, okay? They would say yes for my proposal. Because they wouldn't lose anything. They would only gain. And then it was left up to me to make it happen. So, I'm telling you, man, I have, my story is nothing but extraordinary for the simple reason I had strategies. See, just think about it. Even with a tattooed face, even with this tattooed face, that time I didn't have full tattoo, side tattoo I had. Even with being fat and being penniless and homeless, I was able to get a job. See, and I'll tell you, the first job was not a CEO or managing director. The first job started as a driver, then a transportation guy, then pickup guy, then assistant, then from there sales coordinator, and I did all weird ass jobs just to survive. Weird ass. Assisting with the deliveries, and it's like being a hustler. Anywhere I can get $1, $5, $10, grab it. Then very soon, training, public speaking, coaching, doing the sales work for them, doing their deliveries for them. And from there, step by step, keep going up. Okay, the guy is a coach. Okay, I want to get his coaching program. I would be his assistant for free, do all his work for free, in exchange for him to allow me to sit in his coaching program and take notes. I've tried all these things, man. Say, restaurant guy, I want free food. Okay, I'll do some deliveries or I'll do something so he can at least give me free food. You want someone to lend you the car. Okay, you do their delivery work or something, and then he'll let you keep the car or at least go to one place. There are so many ways to go about. The point I'm saying is, you need to be creative, you need to be enterprising, you need to be dynamic. You can't be the typical employee mindset. And this is what I teach and train my clients. This is what I teach and train my students. How to be this hardcore hustler who survives. Always keep in mind, if a guy like me who didn't have a school education, school certificate, who looked like a fucking freak, a reject, who was penniless, who was homeless, who didn't have any money, whose contacts and connections, nobody helped him time of need. If I can do it, why not you guys? You guys at least have an education. You guys at least have experience. You guys at least fit into the corporate mold. I mean, what is your fucking excuse here? Just think. See, I'm not trying to sound high and mighty. All I'm saying is, when there's no food in the stomach, when, there's no place to sleep, when there's no money even to buy a bottle of water. I used to walk around on the streets of UAE. I used to walk with a jeans pant which was torn. I was wearing a banyan, I was wearing an oversized shirt, and I used to wear a very grunge kind of look because I didn't have money to even wash it, man. From there, I achieved the success that I have. It's not $1 million or $1 billion, but very happy. So anyway, I hope this added some insight and value into how I did it, how I managed to get a job. And it's a long story, getting the job and getting gigs and getting money. When money starts rolling in, it's like having a car with petrol, and you can drive to your destination. And I was able to create my own online brand business, succeed, tried, failed, tried many things, eventually reached where I am today. So I hope this gives you some inspiration. I hope this gives you some insight, some guidance, and I hope you do it. But remember, if you do it the normal way, emailing and sending people, nobody is going to give a fuck. You need to be fucking obsessed. If anyone wanted my perfect resume, I had a perfect resume. If anyone wanted a profile, perfect one, a perfect email, perfect template, perfect interview, I would nail it like this. I could openly challenge anyone. If I'd go for an interview, they would give me a job offer. I gave them an offer they couldn't refuse, like they say in Godfather. Anyway, this is what I wanted to share with you guys. Let me know your thoughts. I like to always keep it real. Me signing off. Take care.